Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and welcome to the final video of the year here on the Mr. Mario 2011 channel. Now, this is a tradition that I've been doing here for several years at this point. It's actually fair to say it's been over 10 years now that I've been doing this here. But this is where I very simply come to you all and I discuss and share my game of the year for that year. Now, prior to this, the last video, like the video prior to this that I typically cover, is all the games that I ended up finishing within a calendar year. And what I like to do is I like to challenge myself and try to finish at least one game per month. And I document it, and I've been doing that since I did it again here this year. I've been doing it for now 8 years pretty consistently. Now, for anybody who might be wondering, well, that's not that much of a challenge. Dude, you'll be surprised. Like, there's times where it's just like, oh, hey, I beat 6 games this month. And there's other times it's like, it's the 29th of February on a leap year. And you're like, dude, I had an extra day of February this year, and I still haven't finished a game. I gotta rush for something real quick. So, it's fun. It's interesting. It's a fun challenge though. But you'll also be surprised at like how much it could challenge you just finishing like one game a year, like a month there. But either way, I did end up covering that there. And typically, I reserve my game of the year for a game that not only has come out this year, like during the calendar year, but also a game that I have ended up finishing. And I'm saying that because not only these videos kind of go hand in hand with each other, but also if you watch that video, it is not hard to figure out what my game of the year is. But if you haven't seen it, it's all good. I'll end up saving you some time if you're just interested in that. And we're going to be talking about the game of the year. So I do have my stack of games right here next to me that I end up finishing. But my game of the year for 2024 ended up being here, Astro Bot. I'm going to tell you all, this was not a hard decision to make for me at all. Not only, I will say, I did finish a good amount of games this year, right? Not only I did finish like a decent chunk of games this year, but also this was the only 2024 released game that I end up finishing this year. I'm going to be honest with you. It's one of those things, like, kind of as I get older, there's less time I spend on gaming, unfortunately. And even when I do have time, I have like kind of less energy to play at times. But even so, now I've noticed, like, when I go back and I do play games, I am playing games that are older, or there's games that like I'm really fond of that I'm going to replay. And there's just like a lot of like newer, modern, like brand new games that end up just annoying me, unfortunately. This is not that though. Astro Bot is not only the best game I have played this year in 2024, but let me tell you, this is honestly one of the best games I have ever played. I'm sure you all have seen the jokes, the memes about it, but they're not even really that. People have said this is pretty much Super Mario Galaxy 3, which that alone, when I end up sharing it with a friend, shout out to D Green, he ended up, that alone, I feel like made him finally decide to purchase this game right here, which was shocking he didn't pick it up on day one, but that's, neither here or there. The other thing in regards to Astro Bot right here is that a lot of people were saying it was like one of the best games ever. And I actually shared this in that previous video. But at one point, like, one of my brothers came to visit me. And when we were talking, I remember like literally on the drive here, I told him I was playing Astro Bot, and he was like, oh man, I keep seeing people like on TikTok say that's like the best game ever. Is it really? I'm like, yeah, dude, it's one of the best games I've ever played. And even at that point, I hadn't even finished it yet. And I'm like, that is my game of the year. And he was just there like, really? Like, I don't know, man. Like, there's no way it's that good. Like, no, there's no way it's that good. There's no way. Like, people are just exaggerating. But no, I'm telling you, man. I'm really telling you. In my opinion, at least, Astro Bot was that good. It is one of the greatest games I've ever played. It was so fun. It was cute. My girlfriend and I ended up playing this together from start to finish. And by playing, you know how it goes, like with a significant other or something. Like, I was the one handling the controller. She was on the side. She was watching. She was interacting, laughing, giving some recommendations here and there. Just things like that. That's how we ended up playing it together. However, I had such a great time playing through this here. And I feel like here, this is kind of like almost like an industry reboot in a way. It felt like it wasn't really like advertised super heavily. Astro Bot is nowhere near as iconic as like Mario as a character, for example. But people are saying that like Sony ended up making, or Sony, I guess, or Team Asobi, I guess you're gonna call them that. But essentially, Sony ended up publishing a better Nintendo game than Nintendo did. That's what a lot of people are saying, or it was more of a Nintendo game than Nintendo games that we have seen. All the references that are in there, if you have played, like you're familiar with the PlayStation library, you're going to just be giggling and enjoying yourself immensely. Even if you're not into that though, if you can sit with someone who knows those references, awesome. And if you still can't do that, you're going to enjoy yourself. But there's several obvious ones. Like I had said before, like you got Lara Croft, of course, from Tomb Raider, you got Resident Evil 2, you got Crash, Spyro, the Uncharted series. You then have, like, there's several, like, all the different worlds that you're going into. You then have some levels that are dedicated to playing in the style of one of those games, like an Uncharted game, for example. Probably my favorite thing, though, was there was this one game we ended up purchasing and playing this year called Humanity, where it's a lot like Lemmings, and there's almost like a beautiful spiritual aspect to it, but it's a puzzle-type game, and you are a Shiba Inu, which is guiding all of these beings into a light. Fun game, interesting, beautiful in its own way as well, too. And they reference that in this game. And I don't really know. I don't know. Like, I don't know people who are just like, oh yeah, I was playing Humanity. Oh, I love that game, Humanity. And it's not that it's a bad game, but it's just, I don't hear people talk about this game at all. And they reference it in here. There's a little tiny glowing Shiba Inu that you could get in this game. And I love that. And we both screamed about that as well, too. So it's been great overall. I'll be honest, man. It was even a little bit of a feels trip where it's like, by the end, it got to the point where it's like, you know, the ending is playing out and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, hi, I see what they're doing. Yeah, I get it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got choked up and I was just sitting there. I'm like, are you serious? Is this game of all games getting me to tear up? Astro Bot? PS5, this is the game that's doing it for me. Which, here's the thing, man, I'm not afraid of getting misty-eyed. I'm not afraid of crying over media. If anything, I think that is one of the most beautiful things. And whether it is a movie, a TV show, a video game, a song, I'm one of those people. I believe if a piece of media ends up making you cry, that alone is just so beautiful. And that just shows the testament and the power that media can have on us as humans. Like, I absolutely love that if it can like really resonate with you and connect with you at that level. And damn it, Astro Bot did somehow. I don't know how they pulled it off. I really don't know how they pulled it off, but they did. And I remember when I told someone about that, they were just like, are you serious? The game has that much of a story? I'm like, yes, yeah, I did. Trust me, I didn't believe it either. I went into this game, honestly, I didn't expect it to be bad, but I thought it was just going to be okay. But when it was my game of the year, and not only that, but one of the greatest games I've ever played, I just want to go back and play it again. I'm going to be honest with you. Either way, that is about it for this video here. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all share your own game of the year for 2024 as well too, because this year it's the last video of the channel, like of this year at least. There's going to be more videos next year, don't worry, but it's going to be the last video that I'm uploading this year that I'm sharing out to you all, and I like to do that, kind of end on a nice kind of period, I guess you can say, for this here. So if you have a game of the year, go ahead and share it down below in the comments. I would like to see, I do read my comments, I do reply to them as well, and I'd like to see like what your game of the year was, why it was your game of the year, things like that. Did you play Astro Bot? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I'll say this, man, I haven't seen any hate for this game, at least just like naturally. It's not like I like looked for it, but if you see someone who's just like, oh, Astro Bot sucks, oh, this game is horrible, this is a bad game. No, it's not. Like, objectively, it is not a bad game at all. It's actually a very excellent game. And, you know, if you don't like Astro Bot, we don't like you. We're gonna roll with that, right? No, I feel like the only people who would really dislike this game are contrarians. That's it. Last thing I'll say on this, there were several times I did get frustrated playing this game, but I acknowledge it was a skill issue for me. That was it. It was a skill issue. But I don't really assign ratings to games, but like, this is a perfect game to me. I don't have a single complaint about it. I really don't. Absolutely phenomenal game. Wonderful game overall. Either way, that is about it for this video here. That is about it for this year here, you all. I do want to talk with you all as well, too, real quick. I just like talk directly here at the very end, because it'll be a little bit before we see each other again. But no, I do want to say, like, seriously, I do appreciate you all. I thank you all for coming out, listening to these videos, watching them, commenting, interacting on social media, what have you. I'm primarily like on Blue Sky these days and the Discord server, and this stuff is linked down below in the description. But I feel like, you know, I don't get the most viewership, and that's fine. It's never really been all about the views for me. But the bit of the community that we've built up here, it's been full of really awesome people. I interact with the community pretty much every day, I would say. I still reply to the comments and all that, and it's been awesome, like seeing, you know, some of the same names over years now at this point, like having some familiarity there and everything, and just overall, there's been the channel has been able to attract some really wonderful people, bring about some really awesome opportunities as well too, and it's still fun for me at the end of the day, man. It's one of those things, I didn't think I would be doing YouTube this long. I never expected it to be as big as it is. If anything, I kind of wish the channel was smaller. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, right? Because there's some people that's like, oh my God, you're a big friend. No, I'm not a professional YouTuber. No. Or if some people even they'll try like poke at like my sub count or something, and they'll be like, oh, you're a big YouTuber and you think this way. I'm like, dude, I don't even really, aside from like the milestones, I don't really like try to grow the channel or do all that much. I kind of just upload my videos and I move on, and, you know, whoever comments, and if there's something I want to reply to, I reply to, and that's about it. But no, it's been really enjoyable, like, overall, and there are times it's gonna be a little frustrating. There's sometimes I have to take a little bit of a back seat on YouTube, and I have to, you know, work on some things in real life. But overall, I just want to thank you all overall, seriously. It's been real. It's been awesome. This isn't goodbye. Don't worry, I'm going to be back. I just wanted to get a little bit mushy and talk to you all directly here. Because like I said, I'm probably going to be taking just a little bit of a break here, because I'm not going to be the person who's just like, oh my God, YouTube is it's so tough, because it really isn't, man. It isn't. Like, it's not. Video making can be as easy or as difficult as you want it to be. Not everyone can do it, but at the end of the day, you're sitting there, you're in an editor, you're editing, recording, cutting up videos, and you are uploading them onto a website. It is not hard. That's just been my opinion on that. But I will say, allocating the time, allocating the resources, having the motivation to do it as well too, that's probably more of the tough part on there. And that's also something I struggle with a little bit, especially because, like, I have a lot going on, like online and offline as well too, good and bad. And that's how it is with anyone. But with how busy I am, and also kind of this self-imposed like schedule of getting out, you know, 2 podcasts a month at minimum, and 2 podcast episodes, I guess you can say, and then you know, uploading at least a video a week. It's just one of those things with everything that goes on, everything that happens. It's like, hey man, the videos, they still go out, they still get uploaded, but life is still chugging in the background over here. And I spend a lot more time of my life in my real life than I do in the online stuff, because that's kind of what I have to do. That's kind of how it has to be. This one needs to eat, for example. This one needs to go out on walks. This one needs to poop, but I absolutely love her. So thank you. I think this is just a long way of saying thank you. We are well past the point of the game of the year right here, right? Like, I hope you all have been, like, you know, leaving your comments and stuff in regards to, like, what your favorite game has been. But if anybody's like, oh my God, this video length is so long for a game of the year video, sorry, it's this part at the end here, so I should cut this short. Anyways, that's about it for this video, y'all. This is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for being a part of this video as well, too. Being a part of the channel, the experience overall. It's been great. And I'll see y'all next year. So I'll be back. Don't worry. Lily will be too. That dog. There. All right. For real. This is Mr. Mario signing off for real this time. Later, everyone.